Capes and Lunatics starts, I guess, right now. We're coming in hot. That's right. It's Friday night.
Hands the whole time.
It's Friday night.
My hands are doing except that what my hands were doing.
It's Friday night, and I'm the sober one, so you know you're in for a ride. Woo! It's Capes and Lunatics, episode 53. That's right.
To be fair, Phil, you're always the sober one.
I'm actually sober this time too. I have to be, unfortunately.
Oh Lord.
No.
Don't count for Christmas. The world must be coming to an end.
Yeah. She had to rush home, and she hasn't had time.
She had to rush home so she wouldn't be a Bendis.
Don't be a Bendis.
That's our new t-shirts. Don't be a Bendis.
If you watched Super Connectivity just moments ago, you saw Charlie Esser call Lil Hellfire
the B word.
The most evil name you could call him, well, then the B word. That's right. A Bendis.
Yes.
We need that drop. Just
I'm compiling a list. That one just got to get done.
But as I was saying before we went live, Lilith is not a Bendis because she actually has thought of other people and has tried to get us a little earlier so we won't miss too much of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Although, on the upside, I did figure out how to use the DVR button on my new DirecTV Now.
Yay!
So I can absolutely live tweet with all of you folks in Central Time in Ohio, like my nephew, who may be listening and watching to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at 8 Central instead of 9 Central. Anyway, actually, no, it doesn't work that way. It would actually be Mountain Time I'd have to be tweeting with. Anyway, you folks out there in Mountain Time, like my friends in... Is Kansas in Mountain Time? I think Kansas, Wichita, Kansas is Mountain Time.
What part? It depends on what part they are. Because some of
she's in Wichita. At least she always. That's my friend Teresa, one of the finest actresses I know out there in Wichita. I have friends all across this great nation.
I'm huge. I have friends all over the country.
No, I didn't say I was huge. I just said I have friends all over this great nation. I have friends in California.
My friend circle was huge.
I am a very connected person, Phil. That's why it's called super connectivity. It is simply the kind. Oh, look, there's Tinkerbell. I got ABC
watching TV,
here.
so people.
Don't worry, it's the broadcast.
The bright shiny screen might be distracting him. So if you hear even more random thoughts from Charlie, yeah, and plus Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starts in 8 minutes, so
that's okay.
We started later. I mean,
I don't have later.
Yeah, see, Phil doesn't have later. You don't have earlier, but it's okay.
We're not loose as a goose like Charlie Esser.
No, well, hey, I get like 8 hours a week where I get to have Charlie time, where I get to sleep and watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and live tweet.
Flash time.
And basically, it's on. I just don't get to live tweet it. That's all. It's all good. Anyway, so let me start this off because we're gonna do a lot of hating on Bendis this week.
Oh, you're gonna do your Bendis theory why he's a bad writer?
Why Bendis? And I realized this today. I didn't realize how bad of a writer Bendis is until today.
Lay it down, son. Lay it down.
So, as you all know, Bendis did the big Bendis mystery. Who is Tony Stark's secret father? Blah, 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 blah.
A random Hydra agent.
Yeah, some dude. As it turns out, his father was some dude, because some dude was Tony Stark's father. Perfectly random, not a mystery though, because a mystery requires a clue. See, a mystery is something you solve. A story is something you hear. So if you said Tony Stark's actual father was actually a Hydra agent, that's not a mystery. That's a story. That's just part of a story. It's like, oh, okay, that's an interesting story, but it's not a mystery. Don't sell it as a mystery. Who is Thor when Thor was a female? That was a mystery because there were clues and there were hints, and it ties back to a larger story that has already been told.
Preach.
So that is a good mystery because it's a mystery like a Columbo mystery or even a Sherlock Holmes mystery where there are clues. There are things you're supposed to pick up and see along the way that are going to tie back to a larger story that make you go, oh, yes, I knew it all along, like the older dog on the Clue Club once said. Because if you remember the Clue Club, there were the two talking dogs who could talk to each other but not to humans, because this was a cartoon that wasn't based on Satan.
Someone say Satan.
Yes. See, Scooby-Doo, being the devil, could speak to Shaggy and the other Scooby gang.
I want your soul.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, I can see Scrappy Doo being the devil, but how dare you? How dare you, good sir?
Why do you assume the devil's a bad guy? Why do you assume the devil's a bad guy?
Oh! Shaggy could have been a much better person had he not been hanging out with Scooby. I'm just saying, he distracted him.
Yeah.
So
I think they
made him
all
a slacker burnout. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Anyway.
And so Jason Aaron made who female Thor?
Jane Foster. A character who canonically had held the hammer in a what if universe.
Had been there from the beginning.
Had been there from the beginning, was always a part of the Thor mythos, depending on how you want to pronounce that, depending on what side of the pond you're from. So her reveal was like, oh, that makes sense. That's someone that we might have theorized and we could have assumed. And it made sense within the story. When you completely generate from nothing a new character, it's sort of like the statement that Tony Stark isn't Howard Stark's son at all. So, which is like just a completely random thing to introduce, which Bendis again introduced. And then to say, oh, and it's also some random dude. It's like, and to defend Bendis as I'm tearing him down, I think what he wanted to say in this, I'm going to defend him. I'm going to defend him, even though he did it poorly. Much like a Matt Pett video I was watching yesterday on PewDiePie, which was fantastic. I watch a lot of YouTube now.
He's a millennial. Get him.
Apparently, somewhere along the line.
You watch YouTube that's not Toxin Gamer 13?
I'll be honest with you, I've never actually seen a Toxin Gamer 13 on YouTube.
Well, good thing he doesn't watch your shows either.
Yeah. You know what? Here's what I'm going to tell you. I listen to Toxin Gamer 13 live all the time.
Oh, yes.
I don't need to actually go and see the video that goes along with it. Because, I'm actually in the background of that video, so I'm good.
Every view, like, and share counts. Shame on you.
Oh, fair enough. I will make a point to binge some Toxin Gamer 13.
Now you have to be a part of the community.
See, I'm not
share, and comment.
I'm not a communal person, Lilith. I am misanthropic, not unlike yourself.
BS.
No, I'm misanthropic. See, Lilith, you are actually incredibly social, but desiring solitude. I'm actually misanthropic.
She's very social as long as she can do it from her house.
Exactly. She is like a freaking social butterfly. She is
a digital social butterfly.
Exactly.
Our digital butterfly.
Digital butterfly. She is the real super connector of us all.
No, that's Phil.
No, Phil is the power broker. Phil is the Ebenezer Scrooge. He is the founder of the feast. He is the man in charge. He is
Gelman.
He is gunning for Rob Southgate's title.
Yes, I'm going to dethrone.
Take it all away.
I'm going to dethrone Rob and take all his power.
In our own little Game of Thrones that is podcastery. Phil is House Lannister to House Targaryen. Rob Southgate. The Southgates are the Targaryens. The Perishes are the Lannisters. And those are the only two houses I know in Game of Thrones because I do not watch that show very much. But I do know that Eitri the Dwarf is on it, and that's cool.
Dinklage.
Gotta love the Dinklage. You need more Dinklage in your life. He is as good a successor to the legacy of Billy Barty as any man. And if he is offended by me saying that he is a successor to the legacy of Billy Barty, then I've lost all respect for you, Peter Dinklage. Know your roots. I was watching.
This is pretty strong tonight.
I'm just saying, I was watching on MeTV Peter Gunn, and Billy Barty had a bit on it as a jazz musician. And he's only in it, and it's young Billy Barty when he was young and beautiful, doing a little pop step as he walks out of the club. It was great. It reminds you why Billy Barty was the star that he was. And yeah, Dinklage has that too. Don't get me wrong, Dinklage is great, but you know, you have to respect the Bardys that came before you, because I think that Billy Barty gave dwarf actors or little person actors the respect they deserve by taking the roles that nobody wanted, that can allow a Peter Dinklage to stand there and say, I will be a great actor despite my stature, or maybe even because of my stature, or irregardless of my stature, or just regardless.
Thank you, apple juice.
Actually, irregardless is an accepted phrase because it is understood to mean regardless. That it is a doubling negative, meaning that it is a negative that does not undo the previous negative, but simply reiterates it. Does not make it an unusable word. Thank you. This is your fun from Grammarian.
And that's why we speak American and everybody else speaks English.
Nobody speaks English. Not even the British speak English.
Oh, governor.
Yeah, not for nothing. You want to talk about people who don't speak English, it's the British.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started.
Watching Harry and Meghan.
Oh, nobody's getting up that early. Are you serious? You can keep your fascinators and tea to your damn self.
Harry and Meghan. I did watch Charlie and Diana get married though. Prince Charles and Lady Diana. Okay. Back before you were born, there was another great royal wedding that was a big thing. Man, I
was there for the other one with Kate Middleton, whoever she's married to. I was there for that.
Was that a thing? Did people actually care about William and Kate getting married?
Oh, that was huge, yeah.
Well, he's going to be the king.
I don't remember it being that huge.
Well,
it was.
They care about him. He's going to be the king of England,
No, he's not.
Brother.
She's going to outlive them all.
Oh, the Queen Mother.
Understand.
Well, she's at least going to outlive Charles, man. He's like, man, when am I getting my shot?
No, well, you know what? Her and Walt Disney made a deal.
She's never dying, okay?
Okay, so the Illuminati is Queen Elizabeth, Walt Disney, Thomas
Edison. Rothschild.
Funnily enough, the Rothschilds, that's totally propaganda by the Illuminati to send out. The Rothschilds like, dude, we're just insanely rich. We're not doing anything to control the world except make money from it. You know, it's like honestly, here's what I'll tell you. If there was an insane conspiracy to rule the world and always someone mentions the Rothschilds, wouldn't you think, wait, the insane conspiracy to rule the world always mentions the Rothschilds no matter who's saying it? Maybe that's the insane conspiracy throwing us off of their
or
set.
Maybe there's always a kernel of truth to everything.
All right. He's always yelling at me for not taking the wheel. Okay, where are we at? Okay.
The Illuminati, not even Infinity
comic book stuff, TV. Amy Sheldon's wedding.
Oh, you finally watched the Big Bang Wedding? Did you guys watch it?
Big Bang Wedding. That was lovely.
I wouldn't want Wheaton to do it. I felt bad for him.
We all felt bad.
Hey, if you can get a Mark Hamill, you go with Mark Hamill.
But
I'm a millennial. Give me
Lilith, let me convince you. If you could have been like, hey, you can have. I know you're never getting married.
I know the Joker.
But I was gonna say, have him do the
love the original trilogy too, but come on, him and Picard are like my creepy best crushes. So I'm sorry, Mark Hamill was.
To be fair, Mark Hamill wasn't into it either, and Will Wheaton was. But to be fair, this is the story of Will Wheaton. Even having Jerry O'Connell in that episode as the bigger star of the characters is part of the Will Wheaton. Honestly, if you can look at that episode is basically Will Wheaton's life story in microcosm. It's like, oh, the fat kid is now hot Jerry O'Connell. Isn't he like doing Rebecca Romaine Stamos at some point? Wasn't Jerry O'Connell?
Anymore.
Well, but for a period. And like
Stamos, to quote Jack Black movie, Shallow Hal.
yeah. Post Stamos. Hey, Stamos was all that, and Rebecca Romaine coming off of Mystique, painted blue. That was a Mystique that was a Rebecca Romaine Stamos to be envious of.
I'm saying she was a lot better pre-Stamos. I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
There's an argument that we all were better pre-Stamos.
Saying Uncle Jesse Rector.
No. I love John Stamos. Like Full House is my jam, but I'm just being real.
Okay. Well, I think we can all argue that, John Stamos has sullied us all on some level. But I think that if we're talking about status symbols, and of course treating human beings as status symbols, which of course is what we do. Which is what we do not only when we say that Rebecca Romaine Stamos is a status symbol to be held, but also that Will Wheaton is a status symbol to be tossed aside when a Mark Hamill. Basically,
I kind of agree with Amy though. Seems like a lateral move.
Yeah. Well,
in 2018, it's a lateral move. I'm just saying.
Well, and what it is, and to give you a broader understanding, it is the difference between getting Mark Hamill and getting whoever that was getting the kid who played Anakin Skywalker in the first film.
No, I get it, but to me in 2018,
it's that second group. Now, technically, Anakin Skywalker should outrank a Luke Skywalker, or let me give you this other example. It's like getting the guy who actually physically played Darth Vader rather than James Earl Jones.
Oh, that poor guy.
He's a nice guy, as I understand.
Yeah, I saw a documentary with him in it. I was like, poor guy.
Yeah, well, he's a big guy. He's a muscular guy, but he doesn't sound like...
He ain't got that voice. That's why I was up
and he really thought it was going to be his voice. And it was going to be his voice. He actually auditioned and he got the part for the voice. But then someone told Lucas, you need a black actor in this. And he said, okay. And he got...
He's like, the least I can do. The very least, just the voice.
Yes, exactly. Oh.
And then along came Billy D. Williams eventually.
Oh, I cannot wait for Lando the movie.
We all saw that coming though, right?
Oh, here's all I got to say about Lando the movie. I don't want Lando the movie. I want Lando the series. There is too much story to tell. Here's what I'm going to say. No. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay.
Yeah, but they're going to want to cash in on that though too. You're going to make more money with movies though.
Yeah,
give him a trilogy. Give him his own trilogy.
He needs his own.
No.
Well, if Disney's milking this Star Wars thing, you might as well give us a character.
I know, and it hurts my soul.
Give us Donald Glover, though.
Okay, but here's what I'm going to tell you.
He's got to do Atlanta season 3. He ain't got time for trilogies.
No one cares about Atlanta.
Everybody cares about Atlanta.
Who cares about things that exist within our own reality? But no, here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, when you leave Han Solo at the end of this film, he is probably literally where Luke finds him 20 years later. Okay, he is sitting in a bar waiting for his next job with a Millennium Falcon. That's literally all that happens to Han Solo. Lando Calrissian goes from being this gambler and street hustler to running freaking Cloud City. He builds an empire, which he then tosses away over friendship. Because no matter how dark he had to get, how many deals he had to make to get to the top, he still knows when a line gets crossed. Because Lando,
need to be a series. It could be a comic book for all I care. It doesn't need to be a series. Does need to be a trilogy. Sorry.
Oh, please. There's like 14 books and 7 comic books about it, I'm sure. As well as 500,000 pages of fanfic that exist to tell that amazing story that is Lando Calrissian's arc of heroism that dwarfs anything else in the Star Wars universe. I'm just saying Disney should realize, you know what? That's actually a really good story. Someone should probably tell that story.
They are going to do it. It's totally going to be a trilogy, and it's just too much. Like,
no.
So if you're keeping score, Charlie Esser is drinking apple juice. Lilith Hellfire's drinking Haterade.
I'm not drinking Haterade.
I don't know, man.
Guys, when it happens, and the second movie is crap, don't come talking to me.
To be fair, the second movie usually is bad.
And most of the time, the third movie don't turn it around either. So, just put while you're ahead.
Don't kill Thor that.
And what was the other show that we were talking about?
Captain America.
Well, that's only because it was a Civil War. Had it been his actual
Winter Soldier was number 2.
Actually, Winter Soldier, Captain America's have gotten better every iteration. That's why the Russo brothers.
But it's not ever really a Captain America story. So just get out of here with that crap.
Everything is a Captain America story because it's the story of America. Thank you.
If you try hard enough, if you got to fan wink it, you got to fan wink it. It's fine. Moving on. What else?
Did you see Gotham, Lilith?
No.
No, it's fine.
Now that's haterade. I'm just saying the haterade. I don't care about Gotham.
You didn't see the government give up on Gotham in like 5 minutes?
Because America gave up on Gotham a long time ago. Welcome to the club.
To be fair, Phil, the government didn't give up on Gotham. They gave up on Gordon and the Crazies. They basically said, no, we have boat technology to take you out of Gotham. So no one has to sit in Gotham with nuclear bombs that we haven't found yet.
But Bruce Wayne said, I have to stay because the evil Ra's al Ghul said this is my destiny.
Yeah, well, he's gonna punch Penguin.
They called him Dark. He's like, you could stay Bruce Wayne, or you could become the Dark Knight.
Wink, 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 wink.
I mean, the kid's like 6'7". Just put him in a damn bat suit already, which they're gonna probably do.
Well, it's the last season.
It's not coming back till 2019. He's probably gonna be 7'8" by the time they come back. So, and
then he can play Josh Brolin's roles.
And you know how it ended, Lilith.
They blew up the bridges.
Gordon put a spotlight up on the clouds.
Oh my God!
For reasons.
I said on Super Connectivity, if he doesn't realize in this universe at the end of this show that Bruce is Batman, there's something wrong.
It's like that Batman the Animated Series episode where Barbara has that dream because she gets killed by the Scarecrow. He knows, he just can't. It's just better that those worlds be separated.
Well, that's what I told.
That's my headcanon.
That's what I told Charlie. There was a comic book issue in No Man's Land when he was going to show Gordon. Gordon's like, I don't want to know.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Which is reckless for a lawman, but it's Gotham.
I actually think it's that.
Awesome.
I think that he recognizes the mental illness that is Bruce. That all that fear gas he's been huffing and whatnot, and Joker serum he's been getting exposed to all this time, it's caused the poor kid to have a mental break. And so long as people accept his fantasy, he can do good. But if you acknowledge the fantasy, it's going to break him, and he's going to go all White Knight and become a villain.
Not even a villain, just unhinged and changes his methodology, which to me, Batman is always one step away from crossing that line. I guess that's what what I mean?
And he does it when he fights Superman. It's like I'm evil.
Superman's not human, so he don't count. Just like Earth 2 lives don't matter on the Flash.
You speciesist.
So I'm just saying, in his mind, that's probably how he is able to draw that line. Is all that I'm saying.
Yeah. Although what I will say is that it was actually a great thing I saw today discussing the Battle of Wakanda from Infinity War, which Lilith hasn't seen, where they actually kind of hang a hat on the fact that all of the heroes are kind of horrified by the Outrunners essentially murdering themselves to try and get through the Wakandan shields. That it's like, oh, that's not right. Why are these creatures doing this? And and basically the heroes actually, for once, having to acknowledge that, it's kind of gross that these robo villains are dying in this way. And it was a brilliant way to present it because, of course, usually it's just fight the robot villains that are faceless and nameless. But honestly, they could just as easily, as you saw in Future Man, a great series on Hulu that needs to be renewed. Hulu, make more Future Man.
It's not Hulu make more Future Man. It's more people demand more Future Man.
Yeah,
that's the business model.
I'm aware of that existence. As far as I know, I am the only lone voice in the wilderness.
You better go out on Twitter and find you some people and get a petition, Charlie, since you want to be a millennial so bad with your YouTubes.
I don't want to be a millennial. It just
happened. I know nobody wants to be.
I'm like these hipsters. You're like, I should have been born in the 30s. Because I like 23 Skidoo. It's like,
I should have been born like 50 years ago.
Everyone says that because I like the things that were great about that era. It's like
have a milkshake if you want to be in the 50s. Wear a poodle skirt. Put your hair in a little ponytail. Nobody's stopping you.
Yeah, there were actually a lot of awful things about the 50s. Not the least of which
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I'm going to say, even if you want to get beyond the obvious horrible things about the 50s, it's like, it's like food was bland. It wasn't, everything was it wasn't as good. Things were not as good in the 50s.
Well, actually, you know what?
But you
when
didn't
the
know
TV
any
dinners
better.
happened, because as soon as the TV dinners were invented, that's when our society went to even more hell in a handbasket.
Well, TV dinners, of course, come up around the time of TVs. I mean, pre-made frozen dinners. Basically, you had to have a ubiquity of frozen,
gross, processed, preservative.
I heard millennials are big on TV dinners now.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah, because they can't afford anything else.
Hey, banquet TV.
You know how much an organic apple costs?
They need to bring back the dessert in The Hungry Man. Well, actually, no. They need to. Swanson needs
the brownie that you just eat. You're just satisfied.
Okay, no. You see. This is the sadness: is that you grew up with only the brownie. I grew up in an era of apple cobbler and peach cobbler, and the delicious cranberry apple dessert that was served with the turkey dinners.
I can only imagine how gross that actually was. It was any indication.
No, the brownie was bad. No one is arguing that brownie isn't a horrible choice, but it was their only choice they had left. The brownie is not good, but everything else, and if you can actually get an apple compote dessert with the banquet Salisbury steak still, and that is quite wonderful. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I would say that the fall of mankind directly ties to the removal of the dessert from the TV dinners.
Well, Mom had a lazy Susan and she should have been using it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Okay.
He knows what a lazy Susan is. He's civilized.
Everyone knows what a lazy Susan is.
Not everybody. You'd be surprised.
Well, I mean, honestly, lazy Susans are very pre-millennial technology. They are one of those things that, like,
it's one of the best dessert delivery mechanisms one could ever imagine. Just watch it go around.
Why is she so lazy?
It's not a dessert delivery system. It's just a thing to move things around.
No, it's dessert and dessert only, Charlie. You can't tell me otherwise.
Okay.
It's the only thing it was used for in my house.
Fair enough.
It's the only thing it should be used for.
Lilith, did you watch the final episode of Lucifer?
I did.
Cliffhanger. They finally gave us what we wanted, and the show's over.
Well,
she finally figures it out at the end. Spoiler alert.
Wait, what happened?
Chloe sees Lucifer with his devil face. She finally knows after 3 freaking seasons that he's the.
Wait, she didn't know he was the devil?
No, she knew very well that they could be getting canceled, and it's just like Timeless, where they ended on a cliffhanger.
This is the thing. So, like, does she just think he's a crazy person this whole time?
Yes, pretty much.
So she willing. Okay, wait. Stop. Because this changes the dynamic of this story. So she is a relatively intelligent person who says this person says he is the devil, but he's good at solving mysteries. So I'm going to hang out with him, even though he says he is the embodiment of evil. Because the devil
doesn't see himself as evil, especially not in this incarnation.
Yeah, Charlie, why is the devil going to be evil?
He thinks of himself as the greatest truth teller. He doesn't lie. He lets people make their own beds and lie in them. He's just there to compensate himself when that happens.
What is it that you desire?
Okay, I mean, I get that.
But yeah, I left that show a long time ago because it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
That clicked in my head. I was just like, I can't.
Three seasons of her.
I don't care how
he's crazy. He's crazy. And then at the end of the episode, she finally figures it out. She sees him with his devil face, and that's it. They're not making anymore.
Okay, but the thing is, see, here's what the thing is that okay, I get that he's crazy, but if someone is crazy.
Why do you want to be around them helping
why would you try to get him committed? Yes.
Well, I mean, committed, have him.
He wasn't in therapy, to be fair.
Yeah, he was banging his therapist.
Well, I mean, I blame the psychiatrist because that's a gross breach of ethics, but
that's your classic TV therapist. TV therapists are not good therapists because they're written by people who probably probably aren't therapists, but maybe once went to therapy. Or actually, TV therapists are people who haven't been to therapy, but who write about things they've seen in other films about therapy. So basically, you have this telephone game of therapy that probably goes back to Freudianism.
Definitely.
Extrapolated on 20 years without anyone actually having been in an actual therapy session.
It's like the Arrowverse trying to rate law room lawyer scenes. You have to watch the Arrow.
Actual lawyers can't write lawyers scene. I don't know why these people are trying.
Oh, we did a big special on the Arrow season finale last night, Charlie. But Oliver Queen had his Tony Stark moment right before they hauled him off the jail at the end. He said, "I am the Green Arrow" in front of the TV cameras and everything.
And now he's in Supermax.
Yes.
Well, he should be. He's murdered a lot of people.
Well, he's going.
He's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's cut it to the quick. I don't care about what kind of redemptive arc he had. He flat out murdered dozens of people, if not more than dozens.
Yeah, it's hundreds.
Yeah, he murdered lots and lots of people. I don't care how rich and how white you are, you don't get to murder that many people and admit it and walk away scot-free.
So I'm thinking we're going to have a back point by the end of season 7 if season 7 is not their last season. I think it is, because Stephen Amell didn't. Usually at this point in the game with the TV series, the main star has become an executive producer so that, he can throw his money around, throw his weight around, make more decisions. Stephen Amell really seems like he wants to do that, but the writers don't listen to him. So either he has a bad agent or not a very good business plan as an actor. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, or maybe his ideas aren't that good.
He's spending the summer.
I've heard some of his ideas. He wants to wear the goatee, but it's some weird CW thing about facial hair. And I'm like, he already has the stubble. Just let it grow in.
Because everyone has to look young and hairless.
Okay.
Get the teenage girls
here's what I'll tell you about the goatee.
Facial hair makes men look hot, like 20% more hot. Scientific fact. Just saying.
Good Lord.
I'm well aware of that study, Lilith.
Oh, you just got Magnum PI over there excited. Oh my God.
Hey man, they're making a reboot.
Oh yeah, they're rebooting that. Yeah.
No mustache though.
What?
Yeah, I saw the picture.
Come on, it's on the old people station. How come he can't have a mustache?
Because
where's that push broom under his nose? Come on.
To be fair, I think there was at least 1 or 2 seasons where Magnum actually did shave his mustache. I do think that there are. I know
I'm
that.
gonna Google that.
Or maybe he shaved it during the off season. Tom Selleck actually has gone mustacheless several times, but I do think there were a couple times in this series where he did shave his mustache. And I remember, in fact, if I'm remember this, maybe just my Mandela brain going, but I remember. Who is the guy? The guy who owned Rick saying, "You look weird without a mustache." Because he walks out of the bathroom and says, "What do you think, guys?" He's like, "No."
I just can't believe they're rebooting that.
Well, I mean,
And Murphy Brown's getting a revival. Like, what in the world? She's 71 years old.
Wait. Are we doing Candace Bergen? Is Murphy Brown?
Yes.
It's a revival.
Okay, well, no, that's then she's just filling the Jim Dial role.
No. Well, yeah, it's a revival, but.
Why isn't it like she's in competition? Like she's coming back with it on the show. She's gonna have a new show, and like her son or something has a new show or something.
Winston. Well, good to see Winston getting.
Can I get Designing Women reboot?
Winston.
Since I got my Bill and Ted 3, can I get my Designing Women revival? Is Delta Burke still alive? Because it doesn't work without Delta Burke.
Is Dixie Carter still alive? I think Dixie Carter passed away.
Dixie Carter passed. She did.
Well,
you can't do Designing Women without Dixie Carter. I'm sorry.
That's true.
Annie Potts is playing Mima on Young Sheldon.
Well, yeah. Well, you can.
Well, that's CBS. I mean, CBS heard. So.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Tom Selleck's on Blue Bud. So, is he gonna show up in the It's.
Well, I mean, he'll do a cameo. He'll fly out to Hawaii for a cameo.
Didn't Didn't they say there's gonna be it's gonna be a female Higgins this time? It should have been Tom Selleck should have been Higgins this time.
No, well, they couldn't do Tom Selleck as Higgins because he's on Blue Bloods. He has two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's been doing Blue Bloods for a while,
yeah,
and
that's a serious commitment. That's a major commitment. You can't.
People love that show.
You know what? Why they rebooted Magnum PI though? Because they had all that leftover Hawaii 5-0 stuff in Hawaii. They're like, hey, since we have all our stuff here, let's just reboot another series.
Wait, did they
set
cancel Hawaii 5-0?
Isn't it this last season or something like that?
Oh.
I don't even know if it's still on, to be honest.
Well, I know it's still on. I actually, me and my wife were actually watching the original Hawaii 5-0 on MeTV this afternoon or this evening. So that was actually kind of nice because I like Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah, nice. I gave up a long time ago on Hawaii 5-0. It got really weird when they brought in the dude from Heroes, even though I love the guy that played Hiro Nakamura. It's like, I can't deal with this right now.
I don't know. Okay. But, sometimes I think Phil just does random sound effects. I don't think he actually follows the conversation.
It's an actual secret distress code that I'm working on cracking. Exactly. Anyway, yeah.
Well,
CBS is a mess with their reboots. End of story. What's next?
Yeah, well, everyone loves reboots. Because all you millennials, all you want is to go back to their childhoods when things were easy.
But the funny thing about it is the shows that they're making, like, as a 90s kid, yeah, those are like reruns on at night. They weren't like our actual what we watched.
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea what was on TV in the 90s.
That 70s show.
Yes, which was about making me feel like a small child and safe. It was wonderful. And that's what they're doing now. They're taking the shows that made you feel like a small child and safe. Because if you're a 90s kid, you were born in the 80s, which means that when you were a small child, there were 80s things.
Really though, like we don't remember them. Most of
you don't remember them. I don't remember the 70s. I literally do not remember the 70s, even though 6 years of my life were in the 70s. I literally thought it was 1980 my entire life. I remember
apple juice.
I remember no. New Year's Eve 1979, we were at my uncle's house in the country, and it was New Year's Eve. And it was like the first year I got to stay up and be at New Year's Eve. And then goes, Happy New Year, and I say, yeah, Happy New Year. What year is it? And they say 1980, and I said, again? Because I had literally thought it was 1980.
Mandela! He was living in a time loop.
I'm honestly, Lilith, I am my superpower, which is
dimension, and you didn't even know it.
No, actually, I'm going to tell you the truth. I have a superpower. My superpower is I pass between dimensions constantly. Unfortunately, all of the dimensions I pass to are just regular dimensions. So it's just very small things that are different and changed that you can like, oh, I guess that's not that big of a deal. It's like I don't go into the universe with superheroes and dragons. That universe I don't pass into. But yeah, I pass into different universes all the time. I'm in a constant Mandela effect loop. But it's okay. I accept that for my life, you know. I think other people maybe do it too, but maybe they're more willing to deny it. But no, I mean, see, that's the thing is some people get into that Mandela effect and they get obsessed with it and angry about it. It's like, dude, if we do pass between universes, then we just pass between the universe. It's not like the universe we're in is so much different or so much worse because what are you telling me there wasn't a Shazam film with...
You shut your mouth! It exists and I will find it!
No, you won't, because you exist in the universe where it doesn't exist.
No, it existed here, but it was so bad they erased it. And I'm gonna find a copy. I'm gonna find a lone copy one of these days.
See, that's lunatic conspiracy theory. Mandela effect theory or Mandela quantum mechanic theory is much more rational, which is I'm just in a different universe now. Where instead we had the Kazam film with Shaquille O'Neal, which is probably just as bad of a film. And I'm not going to.
We'll talk later, Charlie. We'll talk later.
But the fact of the matter is, for what it is right now, it's just a thing that exists, and now we move on. And I'm still in this universe. I still have two beautiful kids, a wonderful wife, and the universe me that went to that other universe where I was. Okay, he's there now too. Help. Now, one of us has gone into a universe yet where we're the ones that won the lottery.
Help.
When one of us wins the lottery, there's going to be a lot of me's that are very upset about things. But for right now, it's just us moving between pretty much similar universes that don't really bother us that much.
Help! It was Bernstein. I'm just saying. The stain stuff is.
See, and here's the thing, Lilith. I'm from a universe that it was.
I know. I heard it on Just Punishments when I edited it.
It was Berenstein, B-A-R, and that no one is from that universe. That's why. That's why I think I'm unique. That everyone else has some kind of weird psychological fault.
No. If you go on the Reddit Mandela thing, I guarantee you will find somebody that is from. I've seen it all. I've seen all the variations on that board. Yeah, you are not alone. Okay, Phil's screaming for help. What do you want to talk about, darling?
Anything else? Lilith, did you watch The Flash this week?
I did. I have to. I have to know what's going on for the finale. And what the hell was that Killer Frost thing? She had it since she was a kid. Is this because of Flashpoint? Like, is this pre-Flashpoint? I freaking hate the Flash.
I mean, I'm guessing they're going to come up with the reason, where
her mom did it to her. We all know that.
But why are they bringing up?
Wait. Time out, because I don't watch the Flash.
Okay.
So Killer Frost has had frost power since she was a child. Like so much Elsa.
The episode before the finale, they come up with this repressed memory thing where she gets into this repressed memory where she sees herself as a kid, and she was like,
she gets hit by this car.
Wow. And they're like, wait, that was way before the particle accelerator.
She got hit by a car?
But you have to remember, we are in a Legends universe where people have meta powers that they don't necessarily have dark matter either. People forget that because a lot of people don't watch Legends. But
why are you bringing up this repressed memory thing an episode before the finale?
Because the writers suck. That's why.
No, because they want to catch you. No, they want to catch you with a hook and say, hey, you know what? Everything you know is wrong. Black is white, up is down, and short is long.
Because we pulled it out of our butt because we've retconned Killer Frost 5 different times.
Well, probably, but Lilith.
Nobody cares about Killer Frost.
It's a DC Universe story. Are you really that upset about retcons?
Oh! In a TV show, I actually am. Comic books are comic books, but a TV show is a TV show. And you should have a show Bible, and you should have a showrunner that sticks by that show Bible. That's all that I'm saying. I mean, that's the whole problem with the CW.
I see what she's getting at. A TV show has a show.
Has its own canonical rules.
Comic books just keep going on forever, so you have to reboot eventually.
Well, but the difference is that comic books reboot slowly because they do go on for years. TV shows will retcon things constantly. And
it's because the writers don't care, though. It's not because they don't have a choice. It's just like, I want to do this. It's not a reasonable retcon.
It's a totally reasonable retcon because the fact of the matter is superpowers exist in this universe. Because superpowers have existed in this universe. Everyone's just waiting for Dr. Fate to put on that helmet. The latest Dr. Fate.
I
said the K.
I never swear. Just that one time.
I'm really passionate about Dr. Fate too. Trust me.
But no, I mean, and not for nothing. Anytime they introduce Dr. Fate into a DC comic storyline, that is when things get real.
That's Charlie's character, Dr.
You know what? Yeah, if I had a superhero character, that would probably be my character. Yes. But here's what I'm saying is that when Dr. Fate comes in and reveals that, yes, it's all freaking magic. Because none of it makes sense. But if you think about it, it all makes sense because we talk about speed forces and things that are quantum mechanical in this other realm that don't really make sense. It's all freaking magic.
I'm a fan of Supernatural, right? The show's been on 13 years. It has gone well past what it set out to be in the first 5 seasons with its original creator, Eric Kripke. And I've watched it on and off, and they've changed, and that's fine because they have angels. We don't have angels in this universe yet. Okay? It's read a damn show Bible. Stop it.
Okay. I will say that Tristan and I really liked the Scooby-Doo Supernatural crossover. It was a lot of fun.
Scooby-Natural was awesome. I did actually watch that. I even have a t-shirt and the button to prove it from Hot Topic.
Tristan's very excited about Deadpool.
He's going to love it.
Oh, I know he will. And
you saw it, right?
Yeah.
So it's good?
It's good.
Well, but eight-year-olds will love it, so...
Yes, this is the one film I will let an 8-year-old see that's rated R. Yes.
Good Lord. But so children and those of us who are childlike will love it.
I mean, it's not what I was expecting, but I liked it at the end of the day.
Oh, really?
Because it felt kind of like
a Fox movie, but it was good.
And you know what? What I'm going to tell you right now, Phil, this is why DC needs to make an ambush bug film. The ambush bug could be the savior of the DCU.
They're letting Harley Quinn be the savior of the DCEU.
See, Harley Quinn started out as a sidekick. She's always good, and she always has a sidekickery aspect to herself because she's still in love with Mr. J. She still
Trust me, you're preaching to the choir. I don't care for the new interpretation of the character.
The only way you can actually make Harley Quinzel work is if you make her Harley Quinzel. And you can
which is the only thing Birds of Prey, the TV show from like 2000 and whatever it was.
Batman White Knight?
No, like in freaking Lee Tompkins in Gotham. Boom. Take it all back around. Lee Tompkins is this character who is crazy, but still very much her own woman and self-assured, doing good by doing wrong. And she
so just have her bang Ben McKenzie as Gordon with a Gordon mustache. Is that what you're saying? And we'll fix this right now.
Oh, I don't. Well, no, it wasn't.
No, because in that universe, his penis makes the women crazy, mentally freaking unhinged.
No, because she either arguably was crazy before or was crazy long after that occurred.
It's something in his semen. It's a special chemical in his semen.
This show is rated T for T.
That's my theory. That's my headcanon. And honestly, I really think it works. Because I think Stabby Babs was arguably always crazy. I think she definitely was always crazy.
No, she was always crazy. That was always her art. See, Stabby Babs, who is still my favorite character on the show. Because she is this character who is not willing to be defined by anyone. And in fact, the last episode is literally about her statement of, you don't get to define me, Ra's al Ghul. I don't care if you call me a whore or you call me your princess. I really don't care what you think about me.
I need to isolate that.
I care about what I care about. I am my own person. And on my own quest. I'm on my own hero's journey. I am not your sidekick. I am not your hanger-on. And they may have decided that Catwoman will now be Oracle. Yeah, good lord.
She got shot. There's something wrong with her back. Now they said it could be permanent.
As permanent as anything in the DC universe.
Well, no, as permanent as anything on Gotham. Let's just be clear. There are some permanent consequences in the Arrowverse.
Sure there are, Lilith. Sure there are.
Oh, I mean, you don't watch it, so you have to take my word for it, but it's true.
Ronnie Raymond is still dead. Come on.
Real Laurel's still dead.
Yeah, there's always someone you can find who's still dead.
Stein is dead.
Just like Bucky was still dead for 40 years in the Marvel Universe until he never was.
They did that
because they wanted to cash in on that, though. That's a whole different thing.
Well, that too, and that was like at the same time they were bringing like Jason Todd back too. So I don't know who. For
me, at least eventually Jason Todd worked out, and I got the Red Hood and Outlaws. It didn't work out for. I don't care about Bucky. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone really.
Even played by Sebastian, I just still don't care.
I mean, Bucky's all well and good. I'm not that invested in Bucky. I'll be honest with you. He's cool. But
I mean, if they would have done the Widow thing, the Black Widow thing, maybe I'd be invested. I don't know.
I will say I find honestly, I think Steve Rogers is the best Captain America, and I don't think anyone else really fills that role well. And
shut up, Marvel. You don't get an opinion.
What?
Marvel? What? He's dead of cancer.
Every time he brings something up, that's just my new answer for him. You shut up, Marvel.
Yeah. You know what I always liked about
why Marvel? I mean, if you would have threw Quasar, okay, but Marvel.
No, but the thing with Marvel, what I love about Marvel is the fact that he died of cancer. Because it was their big story about how, oh, you're a superhero. Well, guess what? You're not stronger than cancer.
Well, yeah, when you're huffing toxic chemicals, yeah.
Take that, Jay Garrick, in your what was it? What kind of chemicals? Hard water chemicals. God, the silver age is ridiculous.
Hard water or heavy water? Because those are two very, very different things. Hard water means calcium and lime from your pipes getting into your water. Heavy water means water with hydrogen that has an extra proton. So there's a
I
very
wouldn't be surprised if they
difference.
retconned into hard water in the DC.
All right, I didn't think I was gonna get to do this tonight.
Uh-oh. Really?
No,
You get to do it every week. Are you
That's
serious?
what she said.
I'm
Hopefully more
just
than
saying,
once.
hard water and heavy water are two very different things. And now, and as an example, heavy water is actually very pure, whereas hard water can have all kinds of crazy chemicals in it. So you could say that, he has the hard water, and it's got all kinds of crazy chemicals, and that's what gives him his speed force or whatnot. Heavy water, actually, because how you actually create heavy water is through repeated
Mustard gas, Wonder Woman. Just stop.
No.
Hydrogen gas, get it right. There's a big difference between hydrogen and mustard gas.
Now, if you make hydrogen gas with a heavy hydrogen isotope, you maybe suddenly have something that can say it's quantum mechanical, don't question it. But just saying it's hydrogen gas doesn't.
So the big question is, what's Jay Garrick sniffing?
Definitely some Earth
Quicksilver
2
sweat socks.
Mercury sandals. Anyway,
Right.
Phil, come on, let's get the comic books before.
I was gonna say, should we get the comics? Yes.
Oh, you know what I read?
What?
Domino issue 2.
I didn't get to
Did
read
you like it? Was I
I
right?
liked it. I loved it. It's fantastic. Well, it's Gail Simone. She's a great writer. But what I liked best is that I was right. That
Viva Inverse, yeah.
yeah, because there has to be a cost, and now he's gonna give her bad luck so that he gets better. Because, like I said, they're probably the same age, and it's just that all the bad luck has ruined him, and it's like, it's all crazy.
Oh, but I know what else you read.
Oh yeah, I read Thor at the Gates of Valhalla. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like the backup story. The backup, because first I thought, wait, are we still doing a War of Realms? Is that still on?
I know. I thought we already had the war. Well, I guess the war's still going, but yeah.
Well, yeah, honestly,
It's simmering in the background.
what I'll say is the War of the Realms is basically, if you want a great allegory for Iraq and Afghanistan, there you go. It's the War of Realms. Yeah, that's still a thing, guys. We're still at war.
Oh, yeah, because that Roxanne guy's making money off it. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, Roxanne guys are making money off of it, and yeah, it's not over yet.
Yeah, but I know you were saying the Jane Foster stuff was sad, but then don't you think they were like dropping hints like, oh yeah, her story ain't over. She's gonna get repowered somehow.
Well, yeah, and of course, yeah, they're gonna, which, granted, Obvi. To quote the millennials, Obvi, yeah, Obvi, that character will get her Thor-y powers back,
If I catch you in a trilby next week, I'm gonna come to Jersey and shake you. Because that's what the millennials do. It's not a fedora, it's a trilby, okay?
I don't wear a trilby. I wear a fedora. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It has a wide brim. I will get my fedora. I will show you that it has a proper.
Fedoras are fun. Trilbies are not.
No, well, trilby's just a pork pie. Don't even get me started.
Anyway,
I know my haberdashery, Lilith. Do not come to me and try to step with haberdashery, okay?
Poor Phil. What else you got in that big sack of money that could be in Lucas College Fund?
Lilith, did you read the X-Men wedding special?
I did. I wasn't impressed. It's like the story that just keeps. It's like the Batman and Catwoman wedding. It just keeps. Oh my God! Shut up about it.
Wait, are they not married yet?
No. X-Men Gold number 30 and what comes out this week, 28 or something.
Green and Sue. It was one issue. That's all I'm saying.
That's the days before they milked this stuff dry, Charlie.
Well, no. It was like a year between the engagement and the wedding.
As one did back then. At the very least,
it was because they kiss in front of the heart-shaped hedge at New York State University, not Empire State University, because we didn't go there. He went to New York State University. And he wanted to be a film student, but his dad wanted him to go into science, so he said, "Okay, take the film on the side." And then he found out he had a real knack for science. Go figure.
But hey, Charlie, the one DC code I did get this week, you might be interested. Superman special number 1, so people can tie up stuff before Bendis. Return to Dinosaur Island.
Okay, well that's good.
Why are you pushing that? I did not enjoy that one.
Hey, Bendis.
You know what my problem is, Phil, is that my DC app never work. It doesn't work well on my phone. I actually have to go to the DC website on my computer, which means
I was going to say use your Kindle, but never mind.
I don't have a Kindle.
Lilith.
I know, that's why I said never mind.
Everyone else gets to have nice things except for me.
All right.
You know what? I had a nice thing and I broke it.
I'll recommend some Marvel.
That's why I can't have nice things.
Charlie,
I can't have nice things.
Charlie, Infinity Countdown, Daredevil #1. Turk gets the Mind Stone. Turk can now read people's minds, control people. He's trying to set himself up as the new Kingpin.
Yeah. Okay. That's lovely. I mean, honestly, it's so random. It's about as random as when the Hood got one of the freaking stones. It's like, oh, okay, that's fun. I mean. Look. First off, I mean, Turk is a character who has existed in the Marvel universe prior to the Netflix universe. But let's call Shelter half an entrenching tool. He is the comic relief. He's the villainous comic relief of the Netflix universe. He is the Penguin of the Netflix universe. Love him like a play cousin. So that he gets the Mind Stone for a day and a half is. You know, it's like Flowers for Rhino. It might be a great story, but it's not going to last. And I will wager that Flowers for Rhino is a better story. I will wager. Have you read Flowers for Rhino? Have you read Flowers for Rhino, Phil? Have you read Flowers for Rhino? Okay, is it a better story than Turk Gets the Mind Stone?
I think, but wasn't that like a multi-issues? This was kind of just like a one-shot.
Yeah, well, exactly. And not for nothing. If you're going to give someone the Mind Stone for one shot, okay.
Okay. All right.
You know, because basically it's the Hood all over again. Here is superpowers to some random thug. Oh, let's take those away now.
Okay. I won't bring it up. I won't bring it up again. Lilith, I know you read Cable 157 because your favorite character Nate Gray is in it.
I did actually pick it up just in case you decided you wanted to talk about it for Wade's World.
Yes, and
it's tedious as ever.
What, Cable?
But the artwork was nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like Cable's like fighting this techno-organic villain through time. So I guess they're doing like the 90s X.
I feel the same way, Charlie.
He's like, what? You're talking about Nick Gray? Oh, this is the perfect time.
No, I mean, it felt like I was getting flashbacks to our Wade's World episode. Scroll down.
Yeah.
Shameless.
I mean, they should have used the Nate Gray who came later on in the series, like the Shaman, which you better read those issues. But I mean, they picked like the Nate Gray from like one of the most annoying points in history.
Okay, it wasn't just me. Okay.
Yeah, no. All right, since he's still out of the room, you continue on with Justice League No Justice #2.
I did. I'm dropping it. I'm not giving them any more money for this. It's ridiculous.
I guess Lex has a point.
I mean, not for nothing. Lex always has a pretty good point. Just saying.
I mean, it's just sad that like there's so much so much modern DC stuff these days. It's just like story. Yeah, here's a somewhat story, but look at the pretty thing we made.
Look at all the cool people. Don't you want to be a cool kid?
Modern DC comics, Charlie, you know, kind of have a story, but it's mostly just look at the pretty thing we made.
And sometimes the pretty thing they made's not that great. I'm just saying.
What is that? Teen Titans?
It's Justice League No Justice.
It's No Justice.
There's Teen Titans in it. You know, Starfire, Beast Boy's in it.
Because it has the Teen Titans brand logo there with that blue and the gold and the block where they were doing the block letters.
Titans go.
I can see the design elements. The design elements are clearly meant to say, "Hey, you kids like the Teen Titans Go."
Oh,
here's
what's up?
Beast Boy.
Yes, the Teen Titans Go can't afford the comic books. I don't think that's what it is.
But
I don't know. I like the Teen Titans Go, and I probably could afford comic books if I could actually get to the store. My problem isn't necessarily buying comic books; it's having times to go to the store for comic books because I don't.
Because you want to support brick and mortar, we know.
Yeah. But and the final issue of Bat Point came out.
Oh, is there a point to the bat?
Did everything stay the same?
Yeah, of course. No, Booster had to go back in time and keep his previous self from saving the Waynes. So
it's like
an
episode of Family Guy, but worse.
So of course, and then the last page is just him with Batman and Catwoman. He's just like, it all went so wrong. I'm insane now.
I hate Booster Gold sometimes. I really do. Like, I really used to like the character. They don't knock it off me.
Well, every character has their bad days, but
bad years, decades. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know exactly what Booster Gold's plan was here, because
I wanted to show Bruce Wayne it could be worse, but or I don't know if he wanted to see.
Even Phil doesn't know.
Philip, you read the books and you don't know what it's.
Well, no, it doesn't make sense.
It's unclear.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's like he wanted Bruce Wayne to have these happy memories, but they didn't happen. But at the same point, he wanted to say, "Hey, your life now isn't so bad." But I'm saying, Charlie, I read the story. I know what happened, but parts of it don't make sense.
The writers were unclear with their intentions on what they wanted Booster Gold to be and his motives. Yeah.
Yeah, at one point, Booster Gold wants to show him, life could. He wanted It's a Wonderful Life thing, but at the same time, it's like you'll still have these happy memories.
Okay. Booster Gold totally deserves to be on Legends, is what you're saying. Because
did you hear that?
Not for nothing. You don't mess with the entire universe's timeline to do that.
Tell that to Barry.
And a couple months ago in Action Comics, that's what Booster told Superman. You don't mess with the timeline. But then Tom King brings him in the Batman. It has a mess with the timeline. It doesn't. It's DC. Charlie.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say nobody has editorial control except for Bendis.
Okay, remember when She-Hulk, in that episode of She-Hulk, where they revealed that basically people from other universes can come into that universe and they get the powers of whoever they're in that universe of, and then that all of the non-canonical things you see, it's people from another universe coming into that universe playing as superheroes.
Yeah.
Maybe DC's going to do that too. Because that was brilliant when they just decided that. Actually, no, that was another Jennifer Walters from another universe coming into this universe to be Jennifer Walters for a day.
Oh, yeah, for that X-Men sort where she slept with Juggernaut.
Exactly. Yes, they completely. They didn't retcon it. They
was a big She-Hulk.
They left-conned it, which is they left-handed it to say, no, that was actually a different She-Hulk.
Not the She-Hulk you're looking for.
Exactly.
The left always lies.
No, you're not expecting the move from the left. That's the point. That's why I'm not being anti-sinister. I am saying that you do the left-handed move because you're expecting the right-handed move, and then because you distract with the right and you do with the left.
I don't need to hear the left and right hand. Are
ambidextrous.
Are we done?
Loop it all back around. Super connectivity.
Always. All right, everyone, watch on YouTube. Join us Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. for our Wade's World episode 50, the Deadpool 2 roundtable with the three of us and our friends, because you're probably like, why aren't they talking Deadpool 2? Wade's World 50.
And we haven't watched it yet, except for Lilith.
That's right. And she said, yeah, it's pretty good. All right. So
I'm a contrarian, though. So,
if you want to talk TV, comics, you can even send us Deadpool 2 thoughts, because we'll read it. capesandlunatics@gmail.com, facebook.com/capesandlunatics, @capeslunatics on Twitter, and the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-capes. And Charlie, where can people find you?
Well, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way. We are Maz and Paz and Deadpool One Sid at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet things, not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., although I see it right now, and oh my goodness, all kinds of spoilers I'm not telling you. Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsselCR. Look for the two E's in the middle for quality.
And Miss Hellfire.
You guys can follow me at Lilith Hellfire if you're going to be live tweeting the season finale of The Flash. And I'm going to finish out Supergirl, and whatever else is on this summer. Maybe I'll have some time at Lil Hellfire. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Save Me Podcast if you are a fan of Smallville, because cool stuff's happening, man.
I'm trying to get that tagline going. If you like Superman, if you like Smallville, if you like swearing.
It's not going to be that much swearing, Philip.
It's you, and you have free reign.
I mean, it'll be for the Patreon. It'll be the pre-show where it's just all F-bombs. All
right. I don't know what happened.
Must not know me very well. I actually liked Lana up until like season 5.
I know, the whole witch thing, I know.
Well, just
the kryptonite powers just didn't really work for me.
All right. This lunatic asylum has been once again episode 53 of The Capes
and
The Lunatics.
And
so professional.
Lil thought she was gonna get away, but hey, guess what came out this week? Scarlet Spider 18.
Damn it. Got me again.
We will do the dance for you.
Hey, did you tell everybody to wear a Deadpool shirt if they had it, by the way?
I did do the reminder. I did.
Okay.
What, yes, and I don't have one.
He's dressed like Pete, like what's that dude from Deadpool?
PW. There you go. I'm a PW costume.
Everyone should cosplay. Yeah. Everyone should cosplay. I'll be Deadpool. He can be PW. You be Blind Owl. And we're freaking done.